Hello there, good evening. We're joining you on the 5th of February 2015. My name is Sonali Vanigabadike.
And I'm Shanjay Rampati. Very good evening to you. We start off the look at your headlines tonight.
National drug policy gets cabinet nod. Overseas travel ban for Kumaran Padmanabhan, alias KP. Court of Appeal impounds passport. Anti-corruption front stages demonstration opposite Bribery Commission over delays in investigations. North Central Provincial ministers in limbo as issues relating to portfolios take centre stage. National Freedom Front accuses authorities of failing to act in the assault of the chairman of the Vattala Pradesh Sabha.
don't කරන්නේ වෙච්ච පොලිසිය මේවට අදාළ ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගත්තද?
Starting off with our top story for tonight, the Cabinet has granted approval for the National Drug Policy. The decision was announced at the Cabinet media briefing which was held today.
After this act is put in place, all doctors need to write down the drug's generic name. With this new development, the prices of drugs will significantly drop. Even when medicine is imported, it could only be done using the generic name. No names of trademarks could be mentioned. Thereby, the prices of drugs will drop in 2 stages.
The minister further explained about the delays caused to the draft.
400 drug manufacturing companies contributed 25 million rupees each and collected a sum of 1 billion and distributed it to 3 parties. The Attorney General's department was aware. However, this file has gone missing.
Is taking bribes not wrong?
It is wrong. The issue is that not all crimes are caught red-handed. That is the problem. Certain individuals gave us this information that such corruption is taking place.
Can he not bring them before the law?
It is because of them that we were made aware of the corruption that is taking place. If we take them before the law, they will never share such information with us in the future. What is important is to bring this act into law and not what was said before elections. It is not our duty as ministers to pull out old trash. Some don't give us concrete information. Sometimes we don't have evidence to act.
Meanwhile, the Cabinet has decided to continue to undertake the construction of the Colombo port city. The resolution put forward by President Maithripala Sirisena on the Special Task Force on Reconciliation was also approved by the Cabinet. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Rajatha Senaratna stated that it consists of 7 members. The Cabinet has also decided to issue transfers to all 25 district secretaries.
Also making headlines this evening, the Court of Appeal issued an order today to prevent Kumaran Padmanabhan, alias KP, from leaving the island. This order was issued when the petition filed by JVP parliamentarian Vijitha Herath seeking the arrest of Kumaran Padmanabhan and that he be produced before courts was taken up today.
This petition was taken up before a bench comprising of the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Vijit Malal Goda and Justice HMD Nawaz. In the petition, MP Vijitha Herath pointed out that KP, who has provided the LTTE with weapons and other facilities using his international network, was attempting to revive the LTTE after the killing of Prabhakaran.
He has been working in a non-governmental organization in an area called Sencholi in Kilinochi. The lawyer from the Attorney General's department was present here today to listen to all the issues, and an order has been issued to the Department of Immigration by the Court of Appeal today to prevent KP from leaving the island. We believe that after the international travels are banned, that the Defence Secretary, the CID and other institutions will be able to investigate the crimes committed by him, and an order has been issued to submit a report to court by the 19th of this month.
Several complaints on corrupt deals which took place over the recent past were filed with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Meanwhile, a demonstration was staged opposite the Commission this morning by the Anti-Corruption Front, demanding that immediate action be taken against the complaints that they have made with the Bribery Commission.
The Joint Trade Union Alliance of the Ceylon Electricity Board lodged a complaint with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption this morning, alleging that a major financial fraud took place at the CEB prior to the presidential election, where the wages of certain top officials were increased.
In a circular which was issued on the 26th of November 2014, it was mentioned that the wages of the administration, including that of the former general manager, was increased between 70 to 124%. This is a major financial fraud. We are surprised as to why this government, which promised of good governance, has not taken any action and are just killing time over this matter.
The Ceylon Teachers Services Union lodged a complaint with the Bribery Commission today of alleged fraud which took place at the Ministry of Education during the tenure of former Education Minister Bandula Gunawardena.
These fraudulent activities have taken place under the basis of three main projects. One is that they have spent a sum of 6,600 million rupees to construct buildings for Mahindodaya laboratories without an open tender process. Moreover, they implemented a 708 million rupee worth computer-based project. However, when this program was completed, they had been paid a sum of 4,956 million rupees. This is astounding when taking a look at the fraud which had taken place. On the other hand, major corruption and fraud had taken place via the Ministry of Education on several projects initiated through the Asian Development Bank. Former Education Minister Bandula Gunawardena and the former Secretary Anura Disanayaka should be held accountable for this.
Many corruption-related complaints have been pouring into the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption following the presidential election. One such complaint was made by the JVP against former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Namal Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Ajit Niwad Kabral and Rohita Abe Gunawardena. A complaint lodged against the former minister Vimal Weerawansa with the Bribery Commission demands that an investigation be conducted into the property acquired by the former minister over the past 6 years. Wife of former DIG Vas Gunawardena lodged a complaint with the Bribery Commission over an incident where gold within the treasury worth 500 million rupees was secretly sold. The JVP filed a complaint on certain irregularities that had taken place at the Sri Lanka Cricket Board. A demonstration was staged today alleging that despite several complaints that have been made with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption by various individuals and institutions over the recent past, immediate investigations over these complaints have not been undertaken. This demonstration, which was staged by the Anti-Corruption Unit, commenced after filing a complaint with the Commission of Corruption and Fraud, which had taken place at many other institutions.
We have now submitted 12 files. However, neither the Director General nor the Chairman of the Bribery Commission has made a statement with responsibility on any of these 12 files. We must say to the Bribery Commission that this institution is maintained by the people's money, so please act with responsibility. Over the past 10 years, we never witnessed the big sharks being apprehended. Only the sprats were caught. It is no different today. They don't have to wait until the Anti-Corruption Front or the JVP makes a complaint. Take action against the corruption that has taken place in the country. These officials can investigate this corruption.
Several factions claim that the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption should be more efficient in preventing corruption and fraud.
ඕනෑම දියුණු රටක අල්ලස් කොමිසම ස්වාධීන තියෙන රටක ඒ රටේ අල්ලස් කොමිසමේ නිතරම
In any developed country where its Bribery Commission is independent, there is always an independent investigative committee which is not bound to any other institution but the Bribery Commission alone. But here in Sri Lanka, those serving in the Bribery Commission are a few officials who have served in the police force for a couple of years. We know that the chairman of this commission as well as other commissioners are retired police officers. In active commissions around the world, those who have been appointed as commissioners are between 45 to 50 years old. So I don't think the Bribery Commission nor the government had any intention of bringing its standards on par with the scales we see at international level. There is a challenge to reintroduce an efficient Bribery Commission. I believe that this government will formidably face that challenge.
නැවත හඳුන්වා දීමේ අභියෝගය තියෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ ඒ අභියෝගයට රජයේ මුහුණ දෙයි කියලා මගේ විශ්වාසයක් තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Commission to investigate bribery or corruption, Ganesh R. Dharmawardana, has been transferred to the Ministry of Justice. Thereby, Additional Solicitor General, President's Counsel Dilrukshi Vikramasinghe has been appointed as the new Director General of the Commission. Minister of Justice, Attorney at Law Vijaydas Rajapaksa said that Cabinet approval was obtained for this appointment. Minister Rajapaksa added that this transfer was made because of the manner in which the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption functioned was not satisfactory. The Bribery Commission, which comprises of the chairman and 3 commissioners, consists of 6 sectors, namely the functions of the Secretary and the departments of investigation, law, administration, finance and special investigations. While former Supreme Court Judge D.J.S. Balapadabendi serves as the chairman of the commission, former Appeals Court Judge L.K. Vimalachandra and former IGP Jayantha Vikramaratne serve as commissioners. These commissioners are appointed for a 5-year term. Speaking to Newsfirst recently, the chairman of the commission pointed out that the commission does not possess the resources to investigate the complaints it has received. He said that it is impossible to take immediate action after a complaint is filed, adding that legal action will only be taken following an investigation.
Those in the Bribery Commission have been appointed through the influence of the previous government. Now, no matter what the Commission says that it does not have officials and staff, we will not believe it, because it is all lies. Because if they acted based on the requirement, some of the investigations could have been concluded by now. We do not believe that a commission to investigate bribery or commission as this can fulfill the justice which the people of this country expect.
Parliamentarian Inandhra Alutgamage raised a point of privilege in Parliament today. On the 7 p.m. news bulletin on Sirasa TV, Batiklo District MP R. Inandhra made a statement that over a year ago, a sum of 50 million rupees was to be provided to him and that a house too will be given to him in Colombo for him to join with the government. After his statement, an individual named Vali Amuna had given a quote over the phone that this individual needs to be arrested immediately by the CID. Honourable Deputy Chairman of Committees, I have smiled at MP R. Inandhra in this Parliament. However, I have never spoken to him. I have no connection with him. I have sent him a letter of demand through an attorney seeking 500 million rupees in damages and I will deal with it separately. I believe that what is being attempted is to make false allegations and use the CID to apprehend parliamentarians. I request you to direct your attention to this. This is not true and no such incident has taken place.
මේක පිළිබඳ ඔබතුමාගේ අවධානය යොමු කරන්න එකෙන් ඉල්ලීම කරනවා මේක සම්පූර්ණ අසත්‍යයක් මෙම සිද්ධියක් වෙලා නැහැ.
Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian P. Aryanendra reacted to the statement made by the former Minister of Sports Mahindananda Alutgamage.
The former Minister of Sports explained certain points about me. He wanted me to join hands with the government and said that I would be offered a sum of money if I defect from my party. Today he is asking me why I did not bring this up before and what prompted me to do this. He is inquiring the reasons for this. I did not speak about this matter earlier because I did not know what the armed intelligence of the previous government would have done to me. I state with certainty that he extended this invitation to me. Today I am prepared to face any challenge that he puts before me. This is the kind of unethical governance that the previous government engaged in.
Court has granted permission for former Minister MP Tissa Attanayake, who is currently in remand custody, to attend Parliament sittings. The decision was taken after a motion presented by the attorneys appearing on behalf of Tissa Attanayake was taken up by the magistrate. Colombo Fort Magistrate Tilina Gamage instructed that Tissa Attanayake be allowed to attend Parliament sittings under guard from prison officials. Accordingly, Tissa Attanayake will be able to attend the Parliament sittings, which will take place tomorrow and the day after.
Former senior UNP stalwart and Cabinet Minister of Finance, senior attorney at law K.N. Choksi passed away today.
Born on the 7th of February 1933, K.N. Choksi received his education at St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. Choksi, who later entered law college, reached the pinnacle of his profession as a lawyer when he was appointed a President's Counsel. He entered the Sri Lanka Parliament in February 1989 as a nominated member on the national list. Choksi was also instrumental in the preparation of the 1978 Constitution. He also served as the Minister of Constitutional and Public Affairs from 1992 to 1994 during the rule of United National Party, and thereafter as the country's Minister of Finance from 2001 to 2004. The late K.N. Choksi, who has been a Member of Parliament for more than 20 years, spanning from the 2nd Parliament to the 6th Parliament, passed away at the age of 81.
Here's what's coming up on the news later tonight.
Construction underway in Kitulgala poses a threat to whitewater rafting and the environment in Kitulgala. More details to follow on Primetime News.
Welcome back to the news. The swearing-in of new ministers of the North Central Provincial Council was rejected today due to issues that arose with the portfolios.
Provincial councillors K.H. Nandasena, R.M.P.B. Ratnayaka and H.B. Senasinghe appeared before the Governor of the North Central Province today to be sworn in as ministers.
I pledge to fulfill with honesty the tasks of the Minister of Indigenous Health Services, Social Services, Probation, Childcare, Environment and Social Affairs as per the Constitution and to uphold the Constitution.
Attempts to contact Chief Minister Peshula Jayaratne at the time to clarify the problems with the subjects were not successful. The councillors then left the premises, noting that their portfolios should be amended and that they would take oaths once the corrections are made.
The Chief Minister should be here. He has made a list and gone to Colombo. It does not do for him to be in Colombo. He can be sworn in. We will take oaths when he returns.
There were minor problems with the portfolios. We will contact the Chief Minister and take oaths once again in the very near future.
The court case regarding the incident where the chairman of the Wattala Pradesh Sabha was attacked was taken up before Wattala Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne today.
A group that forced their way into the Wattala Pradesh Sabha in the morning of the 30th of January attempted to forcefully remove Chairman Tyagraratne Alvis from his seat. Following a tense situation that arose thereafter, Chairman of the Pradesh Sabha Tyagraratne Alvis alleges that he was attacked. When court convened today, the attorney representing the aggrieved parties stated that some of the suspects produced in court had no connection to the incident.
3 persons were produced today. They were suspects number 2, 3 and 4. The police know the address of their residences near the Handala temple. Today the addresses have been presented as Kotahena, Colombo. They produced in court 3 suspects from Borala, Kotahena, Colombo and expect them to be arrested. 3 other people have been presented instead of the actual suspects, but their names are on the frame. The police are carrying out a completely false operation here.
The following statement was made at a media briefing convened by the National Freedom Front today.
If you look at the past 27 days, there have been a large number of incidents of threats and assault. Minister John Amaratunga arrived at the Wattala Pradesh Sabha on the day of the sitting, and then a group of his thugs attacked them in public. Is this the good governance the people of our country hoped for? Minister P. Harrison has spread violence through the Anuradhapura district, and people who are in the opposition are attacked everywhere. They are intimidated. They break into police stations. Is this their brand of good governance and democracy? We are also aware that they went to the home of the chairman of the Divulapitiya Pradesh Sabha and assaulted them.
The leader of the National Unity Front, Azad Saleh, says that the cooperation between the parties that rallied together for the presidential election must be sustained.
In the recent past,
We have seen various groups speaking about this victory through the media, and they have even mentioned that they obtained 700,000 votes. Everyone should remember one thing. Maithripala came to defeat Mahinda Rajapaksa. If not for Maithripala, there would be no victory. Everyone must remember this. There are political parties which work together towards his victory, and today the Prime Minister has not called these parties and expressed gratitude. He must call all the parties. What are their aspirations? What are their problems? What can we do about it? He has not yet sought any views on this. It is a duty. We formed the Vipaksha Virodhaya with the leader of the UNP. He needs to talk to the parties that form the Vipaksha Virodhaya. He needs to talk to them and move forward with the same feeling. To date, we praise Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayaka because he is the only minister that anyone can contact on the phone at any time.
Ravi Karunanayaka mudal emettuma adadat prasansa karanawa api ematiwarek ඇටියට එතුමාව විතරයි ඕනෑම වෙලාවක ටෙලිෆෝන් එකේ කාටවත් ගන්න පුළුවන්.
The estimate of the 2015 interim budget was taken up for debate in Parliament today.
The only thing that we could say is that the economy is in a very critical state. What was our intention behind the mansion tax? To facilitate tax payments in a more open and willing manner. The vehicle tax we introduced, what we wanted was to ease taxation on the innocent general public during the purchase of vehicles bearing engine capacities lower than 1000 cc.
This is the situation that arose when MP Tissa Thanayaka walked in while Minister Ravi Karunanayaka was addressing the House.
Can you see the state of democracy in the country? Was this the way in which you acted during your regime? You will try to interfere with this. We, on the other hand, with no interference whatsoever, with due respect to orders issued through court, are feeling comfortable with the fact that a fellow MP has arrived. No one has any issues. We have got rid of a bad regime and established an era of good governance.
The practical problem here, Honourable Minister of Finance, is not with those who import these vehicles. The problem is with the segments of the society that for the first time in their lives are looking forward to own a vehicle for their private use. Those persons who open their letter of credit way ahead of the presentation of the interim budget on the 29th of January provide concessions on their behalf to bring down the vehicles they have purchased.
Please take note that if there are vehicles that could be registered under the names of such persons, then we will facilitate it in a fair manner. And as far as we know, there are around 350 to 400 such vehicles.
You claim it to be essential goods. I do not know how much coriander, kotamali is consumed per month by the general public. I have no idea as to how much turmeric is consumed on a monthly basis by the people, and I absolutely have no idea as how much Maldivian fish is taken with meals. Even if Maldivian fish is cooked with gravy, I don't think it is widely consumed every month. You have included items that are moderately consumed along with the essentials and said that you have reduced prices of not just 10 but 13 items. This is the situation. What I am saying is not the public has not benefited through the price reduction. My point is that you are talking about reducing prices of goods, mostly of those which has no impact on the livelihoods of the general public, and claiming to have reduced its prices.
On to other local news, President Maithripala Sirisena will undertake his first official visit to India between the 15th and 18th of February. This will be the first official state visit of President Sirisena after being elected. Presidential media unit sources state that during the visit, His Excellency is due to meet and hold bilateral discussions with the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. President Maithripala Sirisena will also meet party leaders and other high-ranking officials during his first state visit to India. Meanwhile, the presidential media unit also added that President Sirisena will engage in religious observances at the Buddha Gaya temple and the Tirupati Hindu Kovil in India.
Now, last night on Primetime News, Newsfirst exposed the risk of a certain construction having on Sri Lankan adventure sports in Kitulgala. Tonight's Newsfirst takes an in-depth look on this construction site and what outcome it may have for the natural beauty of this scenic environment and whitewater rafting.
Construction has already commenced for a proposed hydropower plant damming the Kalani River in Polpitia, not very far from the tourism hotspot of Kitulgala. The proposed power plant is named as the Broadlands Power Plant. The Whitewater Rafting Association of Sri Lanka points out that after the construction of this power plant, the rapid flow of water which keeps whitewater rafting one of the most engaging water sporting activities in the island will see a natural death.
The reason for this is because the rapid flow of water required for whitewater rafting will be diverted for the use of the Ceylon Electricity Board to generate hydropower. This results in a rapid reduction in the water levels of this river.
The construction should be reconsidered. A cry of those engaged in the industry flows down the rapids of the Kalani River with no heed and reservations.
We are asking simply that a professional environmental survey and checking in with all the stakeholders that are here. That includes the rickshaw drivers and our chicken guy and our bread guy, that we really understand the impact that damming this river is going to have, running it dry for the birds, for the people, or the fish, for the bathers from Adams Peak that will be down there tonight. We do not know what we're going to lose until it's gone.
There is a competing interest between the Broadland water hydro project and the whitewater rafting people in Kituzala. So basically, I am, as the Minister of Tourism, I'm caught in between the two because as a MP for Nuwara, I actually want, because economic interests are for the people of Nuwara if the Broadland project is implemented. But as Minister of Tourism, I see the value of whitewater rafting. So I have to initiate a dialogue with the Power and Energy Ministry to come to a reasonable settlement where the whitewater rafters can also do their work, because as a Minister of Tourism, I see the value of that, and I actually want to encourage whitewater rafting tourism into Sri Lanka.
The Newsfirst team made its way to Polpitiya, where the proposed hydropower plant project is underway, in a bid to experience firsthand the reality of the construction. However, our efforts were washed away down the river when we were denied access to the site by a Chinese company which claimed to be heading the construction. River water that is retained by the dam under construction in Polpitiya is to be moved through the tunnel to generate electricity, and the excess water is to be released to the Kataran Oya. 35 megawatts of electricity is expected to be generated through this project. Those engaged in the river rafting trade are not the only ones affected by this construction. Now, because of this power plant, the locals in the areas are facing many hardships, including cracks and earth slips in the vicinity of their houses.
උඩින් අපේ ගෙවල් තියෙන. දෙහා පැත්ත පේන පිච්චි මෙහෙම පිච්ච මුල්ලෙන් බලපුවා.
මේ ජනතාවගේ සල්ලි තමයි මේ කට්ටිය තමන්ගේ සුඛ විහරණය සඳහා පුද්ගලිකව යොදවන්නේ.
ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයා රජයෙන් කරලා දුන්නේ ඒවා. දැන් කියන්නේ මේ සම්පූර්ණ කැඩිලා තියෙනවා.
ගල් ගෙඩි විශ් වෙනවා. මේවා බලදාරින්ට කිව්වම ඒගොල්ලෝ ෆොටෝ ගහ ගන්නවා. ඒ ගල් ගෙඩිය ගන්නවා, සාක්කුවේ දා ගන්නවා, ගෙනිලා ඔරේම ගඟකට දානවා.
මැනේජර් තමයි ඩ්‍රයිවර්. ඩ්‍රයිවර්ට ඕනේ විදිහට තමයි මේක වෙන්නේ.
ඔය මේන් ටනල් එක පටන් ගත්ත වෙලාවේ මීටර 20ක් විතර වගේ මං හිතන්නේ ආවට පස්සේ එකපාරට නැවැත්තුවා. මොකද ලොකු ජල කඳක් ආවා ටනල් එක ASCII.
මම යන මාස 10ක විතර වෙන කට්ටිය රොක් වෙලා ගියත් ඔක්කොම ඉදි ඩෑම් එකේ. උදේට වග කියන්න වඳුරේ ක්‍රීලවෙක් නැහැ.
අපි මින් පාසේ දන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ කිසි කෙනෙකුට. අපේ මේවට උත්තර අපිට හරියට හම්බුනේ නැත්තම්.
දිවා කාලයේදී අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ ක්‍රීඩා කටයුතු සඳහා.
We expect to release water during the day for these sporting activities. Therefore, there will be no obstruction to the sporting activities. The area where there are rock obstructions, the project will facilitate the removal of those rock. Therefore, apart from the 3.5 kilometer area, another area will be opened for the sport.
තවත් එවැනිම කොටසක් අලුතෙන් විවෘත වෙනවා ක්‍රීඩා කටයුතු කිරීම සඳහා.
Leader of the JVP, parliamentarian Inandhra Disanayake, made a special statement in Parliament today over what action the government would be taking with regard to the Ummah Oil multi-purpose development project.
At a time when intellectuals and environmentalists raised their voice against this project, those calls were neglected and construction commenced. One phase of this construction has been completed. There are many more phases that are yet to be completed. This was highlighted in the media in their reports recently. It is feared that the wells have dried out because of this construction. The walls of the houses have started to crack. Temples have been damaged by this. Freshwater springs have also dried up. It is clear that this project has caused massive environmental and social destruction in the country. The tunnel is running right under the villages where people live. 4 of them have been built. These are the consequences of building 4 tunnels. There are 11 more tunnels that are to be built. What kind of situation will this create? There are hundreds of thousands who are living on the banks of the Ummah Oil. Water from this river is directed to the Mahaweli and Rantabe reservoirs, and it also supplies water to the Mahaweli B and C zones. The Ummah Oil rendered such a service. It was planned to direct this water to Hambantota port and airport in order to realize the dreams of the former Rajapaksa administration. The Canadian government projected a cost of $250 million for this project. Yet, based on the needs of the Rajapaksas, this was obtained as a loan from Iran to the tune of $532 million. The contract was granted to the Iranian company without even calling for tenders. Just as large-scale corruption took place within large-scale projects, massive destruction is also being caused. I hope that the subject minister would answer the following questions over the situation that has arisen as a result of the Ummah Oil project. The Environment Impact Assessment report was provided after the foundation stone was placed for this project. Does this not violate the normal procedure? What steps have been taken to review and assess the environmental and social issues that have cropped up as a result of this project? Is there no compensation being provided for identified damages? What steps will be taken to investigate the financial malpractices that have taken place within this project, and what steps will be taken to nab those who are responsible for those malpractices? Will a review be conducted on the whole project again, and will a scientific assumption be made on this project? I wish to ask these questions from the Minister.
සමාලෝචනය කර ඒ පිළිබඳව විද්‍යානුකූල නිගමනයකට එළඹීමට පියවර ගනු ලබන්නේද කියලා ගරු ඇමතුමාගෙන් දැනගන්න කැමතියි. ජනාධිපතිතුමා තමයි ඇමතිවරයා.
The President is the subject minister. I will table a complete report for you tomorrow morning.
මම මේ සභාවට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න.
On a more somber note, Director of the Ragama Teaching Hospital, Dr. U.M. Samaranayaka, says that the conditions of both the mother and daughter who were injured in the accident in Batuwatta Ragama yesterday are stable. Meanwhile, the bodies of the father and 3 children were handed over to their relatives this evening. Newsfirst visited the home of this afflicted family of 6 in Katupitiya, Negombo today.
When we visited their residence, a common emotion of despair showed on the faces of their neighbors, relatives and friends, because they were still unable to come to terms with the tragedy that befell their neighbor, friend and relative. The family of 6 left their home as per the request of a friend who was a cancer patient who had asked to see the 4 children and the rest of the family as well. Accordingly, 51-year-old Dharmasiri Rajakulatunga, along with his wife, Tusharika Kulatunga, and his children, 21-year-old Anjali Prabuddhi, 19-year-old Harsha Tarindu, 14-year-old Lahiro Salinda, and the youngest, Tarashika Rajakulatunga, left home to visit their friend last afternoon. Having fulfilled their friend's request, it is still a mystery as to whether it was a lack of protection along the railway line, or if it was a sense of urgency or even carelessness that prevented this family from returning home safely. However, when we paid a visit to the Batuwatta level crossing, we witnessed that the occurrence of such an incident could have been prevented. While trains operate from time to time along the two-way line, the main Kandana Ragama railway line that falls across it is now unprotected. Newsfirst exposed the danger of this unprotected railway line on several occasions previously. The accident that occurred in 2011 is a perfect example of this. There we showed very clearly the importance of a railway gate.
Although locals in the area know that there is a railway crossing at the bend, people from out of town don't. When the shutters of the vehicle are up, you can't hear the sound of the signal. The lights also cannot be seen sometimes. It wasn't just one person. If that was the case, we can call it a coincidence. Over 10 people have died at the level crossing over the past 5 years. Several vehicles have met with accidents here. So it is essential that a rail gate is constructed here.
As a result of failing to heed the request to construct a protective railway gate, many lives have already been lost.
This bend that you can see here is also a reason that shows the dire need for a protective railway gate. Yesterday, the pickup truck that was involved in the accident was also travelling from Jala. If a vehicle is coming from either side, they will know if a train is approaching only when they come right up to the railway crossing. If, however, a protective gate had been constructed, motorists and pedestrians will know that a train is approaching before they come right up to the crossing. The 4 lives that were lost yesterday in this very spot and so many lives before serve as a reminder to officials of the need for a protective railway gate at this location.
Issuing a statement, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees says that it has followed with deep concern Australia's recent policies and practices of interception at sea, detention and removal of individuals who may be seeking Australia's protection.
Now, the statement comes in light of the recent ruling by a court in Australia that the detention of the 157 Tamil asylum seekers at sea for a month was lawful. The group was detained on the 1st of July to the 27th of July 2014 after the vessel carrying the asylum seekers attempted to enter Australian waters.
The United Nations High Commission for Refugees in its latest statement adds that while the majority of the High Court found that Australia's detention of the 157 asylum seekers at sea was permitted under the Maritime Powers Act, it did not find it necessary to decide on the scope of Australia's non-refoulement obligations on the fact before it. The statement adds that the UNHCR has made a submission as a friend of the court in the High Court case focusing on the application of non-refoulement obligations, that is Australia's obligation not to return an individual to persecution or other serious harm when intercepting a vessel outside its territorial waters. UNHCR says that it considers that there is only one Superior Court decision that is at variance with this understanding and that was based on interpretation of national rather than international law. The UN Refugee Agency adds that if prosecution issues are raised, their cases should be properly determined through a substantive and fair refugee status determination procedure on the territory of the intercepting state to establish whether any of them may be at risk of persecution or other serious human rights violations.
Sri Lanka has called on the UN for direct, wider engagement in its industry sector for the first time. UN's apex industrial body, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, responded its support and commitment to the new government, announcing 6 new industrial projects for the country during a meeting held at the premises of the Ministry of Industry and Commerce.
The discussion got underway with the participation of Director General of UNIDO, Lee Yong.
The experiences of the developing countries have shown that development aid alone is not adequate, and that manufacturing also played a crucial role in development. It is time that Sri Lanka receives a fully fledged country office of UNIDO with the 100-day program of the newly elected president being implemented with the strong emphasis on support for industry and business. Establishing a fully fledged country office will send a strong positive signal to the industry and export sectors.
Last night I met with your new president. I talked to him, congratulate him for the great success, and also commit ourselves. UNIDO will continue the very good relationship established for a long time, and we'll try our best to support him and his government people to implementing more programs to promote industrial development. Because we've seen some of the programs being encouraging. 89 projects being implemented, and also very strong pipelines being developed, TC programs, 6 of them now on the list, At the same time, UNIDO is ready to move ahead with your people, your government.
News from Australia. Australian Liberal frontbencher Malcolm Turnbull has sidestepped questions about whether he would like to be Prime Minister in his first public comments since backbenchers began calling for Tony Abbott to be replaced.
The Prime Minister is under intense and sustained pressure as some coalition MPs publicly call for change and look to those regarded as possible contenders, former leader Malcolm Turnbull and Foreign Minister Julie Bishop. This afternoon, Cabinet Minister Andrew Robb called for backbenchers to sit with Abbott but declared the leader's position relies on his performance. It builds on statements made yesterday by senior Liberal figure Senator Arthur Sinodinos that his support for Mr. Abbott was not unconditional and which cast doubt on whether he would be Prime Minister next week after Tuesday's crucial party room meeting. Prime Minister Tony Abbott has declared he is very confident he will still be leader this time next week following a crucial party room meeting on Tuesday. One of the Prime Minister's strongest supporters, Minister Kevin Andrews, labelled his colleagues criticising the PM in the media as self-indulgent and self-defeating. Jude Fernando, who has been following the developments for us closely from Melbourne, joins us now with more.
Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott on Wednesday lost the unconditional support of a key political ally, renewing speculation he could be pushed out by his own party. Abbott has faced criticism over policies ranging from his handling of the economy to the award of an Australian knighthood to Queen Elizabeth's husband, Prince Philip. Some parliamentarians in Abbott's Australian Liberal Party want to vote on his removal as early as February 10th at the next scheduled party meeting. This is Jude Fernando reporting for Newsfirst from Melbourne.
Meanwhile, NATO is set to announce details of a plan to bolster the alliance's military presence in Eastern Europe in response to continued fighting in Ukraine. The bloc's chief says it will be the biggest reinforcement of its collective defense since the end of the Cold War. With details on the crisis in Ukraine, up next is Around the World in 99 seconds.
There's just 8 days to go for the 2015 ICC Cricket World Cup. Speaking to Sports First, Sri Lanka's team manager Michael de Souza noted that the team would return to training on Saturday.
Michael de Souza noted that left-arm spinner Rangana Herath, who had returned to Sri Lanka due to a family emergency, has now arrived in New Zealand. He added that the injured Jeevan Mendes, Dambika Prasad and Suranga Lakmal have all recovered. Meanwhile, Chairman of the National Selection Committee, Sanat Jayasuriya, noted that they have decided on T.M. Dilshan and Lahiru Thirimanne as the opening pair for Sri Lanka's batting lineup. Jayasuriya added that strike pacey Lasith Malinga, who was out of action due to a surgery, has found his rhythm again. Sri Lanka Cricket announced today that they had decided to obtain the services of psychiatric consultant Jerome Snape to uplift the team's mentality. He will join the team for 14 days from the 24th of February. Sri Lanka will take on South Africa on Monday in their first warm-up match of the tournament.
Well, that wraps up Primetime News for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sonali Vanigavabage.
And I'm Shahan Jarampati. Thank you very much for watching. Good night and take care.